live replay. We are really, you can hear my loud voice here. I'm not actually hearing myself actually talk at the moment, but I can do if I want to. But I have to be very careful because of one thing, of course, very simply, it's a health and safety issue that could happen anytime. Hopefully, it doesn't whilst I'm on air right now. But what I would say, ladies and gentlemen, luckily, first of all, we've got some signal. And of course, I don't know how that's going to last with 4G. You know what it's like here. But what I would say is I've got a microphone here and it's switched on here. You can see the blue light here and the receiver, which is plugged into the microphone socket. Hopefully you can hear my voice very clearly. And I want to play this back so that I can actually hear it myself. But the problem is that because I put the camera on the tripod, which basically, of course, hasn't got a rubber thing, so it could actually fall off like it did a minute ago into the bin. But let's forget about that. The bad news is, in this location right now, as we are in Norfolk, Giuliani's gone up the road. Of course, he needs to cheer himself up by getting himself a portion of chips, which is just literally down the road. The chip shop does actually close at 9 p.m. So let's talk about the story of the day on our talk of the day live, the live version, okay, rather than just the highlights. There's been a lot of talk of the days, and of course it was formerly known as Word of Today, not Word for Today, which is a booklet which I don't actually have with me right now, which is a little bit of a shame. But anyway, I can remember this little segment from, of course, the leaflet which I picked up at St Michael's Church in Bishop Stortford a few months back. Of course, when I went to Bishop Stortford, that was quite a while ago actually. But yeah, I haven't been up there since. But yeah, we may go up there again at some point. I don't know when. But of course, it's not in the plans at the moment. But of course, yeah, we might venture there at some point. I don't know if it's we or I myself might venture there. But anyway, before I go on and talk further about our story, which of course is the story of the day, and we've got highlights of our bus journey, of course, which we took on the X1, I think it was, which goes to, of course, Great Yarmouth, and then on to Lowestoft eventually. But we'll talk about that in just a moment, okay? So just telling you the story of the day of how we got on in our sort of way or another. So, yeah, this segment comes from the leaflet from the Bishop Stortford Church of course, St Michael's. And I do remember a segment of it. And it goes something on the lines of this. Make us heralds of good news. Serve us, I think it's serve us, strengthen us, and, be there with each other. Something on the lines of that. But, of course, it does say amen at the end, as a religious term. But of course, yes, it's something on the lines of that, okay? I haven't got the leaflet in front of me, so I can't actually read it out. And I only remember a segment of it. So, of course, make us heralds of good news wherever you go, which is what I sort of encourage when people are travelling out and about. And, of course, the hottest temperature recorded in Surrey, in a village in Surrey, according to GB News, when the signal was going strong earlier, just as it was coming into Nigel Farage's GB News show after Doobs and Co, if you know who that is. Of course, that was a presenter which was on this afternoon, and then the first one was Patrick Christys, okay, who was a Manchester United fan, by the way, and he was talking about, of course, this guy that has escaped prison and all that kind of thing, and we don't know where he's gone at the moment. Of course, of course, having watched this video, this might be old news, by the way, and hopefully they might have found the person that they're looking for, the police. But of course, yeah, it might take a little while before that happens. If not, of course, quicker than what I say. So what I would actually like to say is that, of course, this is how it started. Of course, we got the bus from Haverhill to Bury St Edmunds this morning, and it did cost £2, 50p more than it usually does. Well, for me anyway, but of course I won't go into details why. But yeah, it's kind of a saver thing, but it is kind of like a cheek kind of thing that Stephenson's put it up just because they think that, of course, we are part of the £2 single fare kind of fee. But that was at 9:15, and it came to the bus stop around about 22 to 25 minutes past. So it was slightly late, but it got there at good time. And it got to Bury St Edmunds in good time, and we only waited 10 minutes for the 25 minutes past 10 Thetford bus, which is the 84, which doesn't go around the villages, or actually the houses. But when it goes to the Thetford interchange, the bus interchange, of course, it does have an Iceland round the corner, which I did go to and got a couple of milks. And then, of course, it has toilets, which is quite useful to know about. And, of course, we waited for about 20 to 30 minutes for a town rider, which went all the way around the villages. Nice to have a little bit of a trip round. And then eventually to the train station. And, of course, the train station, we then walked across the footbridge after we got our change on the tickets, and then we climbed those stairs and went only once across the bridge, then downwards, and then we waited in the waiting area. Of course, the toilets at the Thetford train station, I have to say, not that they were, you know, not clean or anything like that. They were actually quite clean, to be fair, but they close at 1 o'clock, which isn't very good, especially if you're dying for a pee. But anyway, that's another thing. We eventually waited for the 12 train to Norwich, which was calling at Attleborough, and then Wyndham, then Norwich, which only took around about half an hour or so, roughly speaking, and then eventually went to Norwich train station. But of course, we waited in the area for a little bit. We obviously got our tickets for the 12th of September on a Tuesday, and Julian got his coin stuck, 50p, and we had to go to the actual ticket office, and one of the ladies, of course, got one of the supervisors to open it up and, of course, get the 50p that was stuck out there. And we got a few drinks to cool ourselves down as well. We eventually got the 37 minutes past 1, I think it was, 8 straight, which of course is outside the train station of Norwich. I think it's Thorpe Road. And then we went straight to the bus station and had a coffee for £1.95 each. I like having the cream with it. And then of course we used the toilets there because the toilets were actually out of action at that time of the Norwich train station. So that was a bit of a shame that the Norwich toilets were out of action. Really, really is frustrating when you're dying for a pee in particular. So that's why we didn't stay long at the Norwich train station for that purpose. But there was lots of taxis outside the Norwich train station, but we decided to get the bus because it's much more quicker and economical is the right word. Yeah, sorry to bore you on all my experience there, and of course Giuliani's experience there, and of course he's not a happy bunny because he's limping at the moment. Just to let everyone know that we all are safe here in Norfolk at the moment, and of course the journey length time must have taken us quite a long day since 9 o'clock, but we eventually got to Great Yarmouth in Norfolk around about, I would say, near enough to 3 o'clock, and then eventually got the right timing for the number two to get round to, of course, Factory Road, which is halfway, to where we are right now. So it's always great that we can time the buses well. It's not often that you get a chance to do that. So yeah, we've had a good experience on our diary here, starting from 9 o'clock. Well, I actually got up myself about 7 o'clock in the morning, but Julian got up about 8, and then I eventually got up at 8, sleeping in for a little bit. But anyway, of course, yes, Giuliani's not a happy bunny because, of course, he's got a toe problem, and of course, I've told him to go and get some chips there. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I haven't decided, but I will eventually get something to eat, whether it's a sandwich or just pop up the road for a bit, just round the corner myself for the first time, because normally he brings back the food. But yeah, tomorrow will be a different sort of plan, and it's only a plan, and I hope we are able to do this properly. Maybe I'm hoping to aim for the Wetherspoons breakfast. I can't say which one it is at the moment, and it's definitely in Great Yarmouth, but it's about 15 minutes from Great Yarmouth, I would say, but it's still sort of counted as Great Yarmouth, like Scrapby and things like that. Anyway, that's another thing altogether. Do you know what? Of course, Gabby Coffee, or whatever her name is, with Tim Linden. I don't know if anyone actually knows of them from their channel, and Tim Linden from Linton, that kind of thing, and Gabby Coffee, otherwise known as Starbuck, the singer. But yeah, they are in Ibiza at the moment. I haven't actually checked up on their latest videos at the moment, but apparently they've got really huge chunk of people watching them all the time. It's really great. But yeah, I can't get my GB News 236 at the moment, or even Talk TV. Both of those channels are bad signal at the moment. The only ones I probably can get at the moment is Mainstream. I have to sort of wiggle around with the aerial, and of course it's not very good that I can't get a signal here. Just to prove that point, I'm actually going to try and hold this, and hopefully it will stay with me. Touch wood if I'm very gentle. So yeah, this is what is coming up on the screen at home. If anyone knows about signaling of TVs, it is a Logic TV, by the way, and that's the channel normally of 236, and that's the time at the moment. It's telling you the time and the date here, but it's not actually giving you a signal. It was earlier, but I wiggled about with the aerial literally behind the TV, but it's not making a difference. So if you know anyone that knows about aerials, then of course let us know. Probably the simple thing out of all this is that the problem with the aerial is that it's old-fashioned and needs a new one, and it's fixed to the wall aerial, which is over there. I've got my extensions with me. Of course, I've got a remote control, my fan with me. Different kind of extension this time. I've got my extra batteries with me, and I've got the headphones, which I'm not actually using at the moment. And I've got my tea and coffee facilities there. Of course, I'll show you very quickly there. Yep, coffee is that one there, and this one is the tea here. And of course, I do have milk, but I drank it very quickly. But yeah, that's the kettle, which is actually boiled at the moment, and that is the key for this room. So there's 2 of them in total, because there's another room in there. Apparently, the door swings on its own, is what I showed you a minute ago. But yeah, thank you to all the subscribers that have actually subscribed to us, of course, recently, and of course, hopefully it continues, and we hope to, at the end of the year, or just before the end of the year, get up to 600 subscribers. If we can do that, that'd be great, and it will be a great help. And hopefully, by you watching our videos, some have been very, very different, like the Stevenage video, which is only a taster, by the way. So if you like a bit more of what we do, like, of course, going out and about, then do suggest it. And, of course, put down in the comment section, email us, touringwithoutsteam@gmail.com, or use our Facebook and message us there. And, of course, we're on True Social as well. And Twitter, which is now an X, isn't it? Has anyone actually noticed and picked up on that, actually? It's not the bird anymore, it's the X, you know, like noughts and crosses. But anyway, so yeah, the list goes on. So yeah, the battery pack is actually charging right now on the chargers, as I showed you a minute ago. I just had a pot noodle earlier, which formerly was known as Snack Pot, if you remember that, many years ago, but they changed the name, like names do change. Of course, which food, well, maybe drink as well, some sort of soft drinks, has actually changed, of course, over, well, I'll tell you what, put it this way, which, of course, food or drink has not changed over the years, apart from a certain soft drinks, has changed over the years, which hasn't changed, not what has, but what hasn't changed. Do let us know what you think in the comments. Well, actually, I'll tell you. You don't have to use the comment section, but I would tell you this now. Walker's Crisps has been the only crisps manufacturer, has never changed their name so far. I could actually be wrong by that, because they could change it at any time since this video's gone up. But of course, yeah, that's one thing. And of course, Coca-Cola, that's still going, although they did add vanilla and Coke Zero, that kind of thing. So interesting to think about that one. I'll test you lot out again at some point at a later stage. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to say goodbye to you all for now, because this is a short talk of the day live. We won't be doing too many of this, but we will just keep you updated with like a diary kind of thing. And of course, we won't do too much of in the way of videos, because of course it takes absolutely years to upload. By the way, yes, and by the way, go to our We Love East Anglia. It's actually posted on the community section on this channel here. I might post it elsewhere as well. Go to We Love East Anglia on YouTube. You can subscribe to it as well, free of charge. And we've got 14 subscribers on that, which isn't too bad, really, to some people. But yeah, I've just recently posted the video of, I would say, the highlights of the journey that we did, okay? And it's just gone up on there now. Some videos are not sort of posted or registered on this channel, and some are, you know. So you get some sort of talk of the days on this channel, and sometimes you get it on We Love East Anglia. Hello to that person that keeps tuning in here and there, keeps switching on their phones and then going off again. You know, it's coming back. There you go. 1 minute it's like coming up, and then 1 minute it's disappearing. It's like a ghost, isn't it? That keeps reappearing or disappearing. But yeah, I don't have any magic to go with that, by the way. But yeah, of course, very quickly, just before I do go, I just wanted to say that we did pick up one of these. We've got, of course, one of these each on the Stephenson's bus. Of course, there's a guide to buses around Newmarket, including the number 11, 12, 12A, 16, 16A, 112 and 311. And the Ely City Service, which is on the 9A. March to Cottenham as well, which is quite useful, on the 8A. And, of course, the updated, of course, timetable as of 4th of September 2023, and of course the same with this little one here. Hello, Alex Bailey. Very good evening to you. Hope you are doing well with all the heat, which is, of course, apparently, as I was saying earlier, I was going into the hottest temperature recorded, of course, according to GB News, 32 degrees in Surrey in a village. So, yeah, that was what is apparently recorded. I am very great, sorry. Yeah, Alex. So, yeah, thank you very much for your comments. And very nice that you are all tuning in wherever you are tuning in. Oh, yes, you are from Haverhill, Suffolk, watching us here in Norfolk. So you're watching from Suffolk and we are in Norfolk. And, of course, we normally are in Suffolk, but we're taking a break from Suffolk in a sort of kind of way. And we are talking about, of course, very quickly, before I do sign off tonight, because we will have more of this. Yes, there is more of this, by the way. I'll have something to eat in a minute, by the way. And, of course, I won't share it with you online because, you know, it might make you a little bit jealous. Can you all hear me, by the way? That is the main thing. I'm hoping that, of course, Taste the Venom, which is known as Jamie, one of our moderators, does check in and comes and says hello, at least at some point, even on the replay. Of course, yeah, he may well be busy on other things as well. So this leaflet here is all about the local buses between Haverhill, Kennington, Stradishall, Chedborough, Horringer and Bury St Edmunds, 14 and the number 15. I don't think much has changed in terms of the bus times itself. Of course, the earliest being from Haverhill to Bury St Edmunds at 6:25, and that's the number 15, by the way. And these times here are only school days only, when the schools actually go back to school, because some schools are varied with what days they go back, because in Norfolk it's different days to what it is in Suffolk, for example's sake. And 14A and 15A, I think GB News is trying to come back, but yeah, it's normally the Nigel Farage show. It always happens to his show. Anyway, yeah, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Might be just in time for the Dan Wootton show tonight, if you've not heard of him. But yeah, talking about the buses here from Haverhill bus station. This is Monday to Friday, by the way. Of course, 7:10 and 7:38 is the earliest one from Haverhill on the 14B, sorry, not 14-8. It does look like an 8 here, 14B and 15A, okay? And that will end up in Bury St Edmunds about, of course, from the 7:10 in the morning, and of course it will end up in Bury St Edmunds about 8:30 in the morning. So 30 minutes past 8 in the morning, it will end up in Bury St Edmunds. Give and take traffic, of course. And another one, 7:38, after that, from Haverhill bus station, will end up in Bury St Edmunds about 8:27. That's Monday to Friday, okay, except for public holidays. And Saturdays, of course, different times altogether. Of course, you've got the earliest one from Haverhill, 7:45, 10:15, 12:15, 14:15 and 16:15, all from Haverhill bus station. And vice versa, of course, from Bury St Edmunds bus station, you've got these Saturday times here, 9:15, 11:15, 1:15, which is 13:15, 15:15, which is 3:15 in normal time, and 17:15, which is 24-hour clock mode of 5:15 in the afternoon. That's from Bury St Edmunds, the last one being of 15 minutes past 5 p.m. on a Saturday. Of course, ending up in Haverhill about 6:09 in 24-hour clock mode. That is 18:09. And of course, Monday to Friday, very quickly at Bury St Edmunds bus station, the last one being of 6:15 and ending up in Haverhill or Dudley Hill, or even the Haverhill bus station. Of course, 7:09, give and take traffic again, and if the bus is late or something like that. And of course, Bury St Edmunds bus station at 15 minutes past 5, you can also get. So there you go. And of course, School holidays only are these times. Bethlehems times would be 15 minutes past 3 and 15 minutes past 4. That's only school holidays only, but if it's school days only, it's of course 35 minutes past 4, and we'll end up in Haver bus station about 5:23. So that's how that goes. Of course, the one in the morning, of course, very quickly. I won't read all of them because it'll take me all day to read them all. 9:15 in the morning, number 15 from Haver bus station, and of course the number 14 is 15 minutes past 10, and that's a little bit longer, and that will end up going through Wickenbrook, a lovely little village called that, and yeah, Wickenbrook at Thorns Close. And of course, we'll go on to Clopton Green, Depton, and Chedborough, Chevington, and Horringer, and Bury St Edmunds. So yeah, there's also a 12:15 bus, which is a 15, which is a lot faster than the 14. And of course, they all roughly take about 52 an hour. The 15 to Bury St Edmunds. Of course, the 15 would be faster than the 14 by a slight margin, but of course, it's not much difference. Only, of course, that it stops through Wickenbrook, the village there, as I mentioned. Yeah, there's a 1:15 from Haverhill bus station to Bury St Edmunds. There's also, of course, in these times, 2 o'clock, well, 2:15 and 3:15. School holidays only, and of course, if it's school days only, it's 25 minutes past 3 normally, and 45 minutes past 3 normally as well. So, of course, very useful to know all this. This is Monday to Fridays, except for public holidays. So, yeah, Monday to Fridays, except for public holidays. Okay. And yeah, very useful to know all this. And yeah, it should look something like this, the leaflet from the bus, okay? And they're very, very useful. So I remind you again, if you're coming back to Haverhill, of course, the last one being of 15 minutes past 6, 18:15 in 24-hour clock mode. So lots and lots of time to actually go through, but of course I haven't got time all night to go through every single segment. But of course, yeah, if you want to know more information about the travel times, of course, I would try and get through to Stevenson's Riverside Industrial Estate, which is not actually in Haverhill, it's in South Street in Rochford, which is Essex. SS4 1BS, and of course, yeah, customer services at Stevenson of Essex. Yeah, Stevensons of Essex.com. That's customer services at Stevensons of Essex.com. And the number to ring Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. if you can get through. Keep trying if you don't get through. We've tried so many times, but usually 9 times out of 10 there's no one picking up the phone, but someone eventually should do. 01376 503050. That's 01376 503050. And the nationwide bus times 0871 200 2233. 0871 200 2233. Calls will cost no more than 12p per minute plus your phone company's charges. And of course, there's a website for this, travelline.info. All information was correct as of 17th of August 2023. But this timetable stands from, of course, 4th of September 2023. You tell me, out of all that, of course, if there's anything updated from the previous timetable. I've got a previous timetable from before. I'd like to see what the difference is. Do you know what? Of course, I haven't actually discovered anything that is different to the original timetable before September the 4th. It's just that it's just been updated, really. And this is a fairly new kind of book as well. And that is also dated from 4th of September 2023. Well, anyway, I'm going to leave that racing through your mind. Of course, I don't want to, of course, give you a whole lecture of stories and all that kind of thing. Just thought I'd give you a little bit of a talk about this. Of course, yeah, I'm sorry. Right, okay, you're drinking. Are you having a party tonight? You love where you are staying, which is great. So, yeah, thank you very much for that, Alex, and thank you very much for sticking by and tuning in to us. And do tune in to our other live programs as and when we can, especially when we come back into Suffolk, which, of course, sometimes we occasionally do shows. We won't be doing a full-length show until we come back the week afterwards. So we'll be taking a break when we come back on the 22nd of September. Of course, the Monday week, of course, we'll be back on air doing the Events and Places show. But in the meantime, we will keep you updated with, of course, plenty of shows called Talk of the Day. So if you like the show or Talk of the Day, perhaps we'll do more. But of course, you know, they are only highlights of course, what we've been getting up to. And if you like more of that kind of thing, do let us know. That is what you're here to do. Tell us exactly all that. Somebody has given us a like earlier and then it changed its mind. I don't know what that was all about. Perhaps they hit the wrong button. Perhaps you can redo that and hit that thumbs up again. You know, it really helps boost the channel. Tell all your friends about us. Apparently we have been questioned about, of course, are you that YouTuber out there, especially in Haverhill? We've been asked about that a lot. So it's always nice that people come up. Oh, someone's given us a like. I never expected that anyway, but of course, thank you very much. It really, really is much appreciated of you, whoever done that. So yeah, someone's playing around with it. Put it up. That's it. Helps boost the subscribers. Otherwise, we'll get demonetized. But anyway, there won't be any music that we will be doing here unless you want to see us dancing around the seafront. I don't think that's ever going to happen. We've still got a signal problem on GV News at the moment. We don't know what's happening in the area. So, yeah, it's probably all down in the area. But, of course, apparently I'll be able to get it on my phone, but I can't really watch it while I'm talking to you guys. But, yeah. I presume there's no problem with the sound, otherwise, you know, you wouldn't be able to hear me at all. And hopefully, of course, I'm coming out loud and clear here. If I tap this, does it sound like I'm actually talking into the microphone here? If there's any technical problems, do let us know. But this microphone here that I've got in front of me is very useful here. You're probably thinking it's a little bit of a flyer on my actual chest, but it's actually a little bit of a microphone, and I can actually stand at the other end of the room and you probably still will hear me. But of course, yeah, I have to switch on the microphone receiver, which is connected to the phone, and the only wire that actually works with this. If I try another wire, it does not work, and vice versa when I try back at Suffolk, right, I have to have a special wire for it to connect to the back of the kind of mixer, which I sort of feed into the OBS studio, which is what we broadcast for the show. But yeah, of course, a little bit of an insight of behind the scenes of how we make shows at Touring With Us. But yeah, of course, just one more thing to mention tonight, and of course I'll leave that racing through your mind. And first of all, be good to yourself, because if you're not good to yourself, you're not good to others. Apparently what Bill Bixby said in 1970s, that sort of area, before he died, of course, of cancer, which was a sad thing. But of course he had back pain. I looked at some of his videos, and perhaps you can see one of his videos when we return back. And you might have seen the Paul McKenna hypnosis as well, which is very useful for mental health, by the way. Of course, I'll explain that another time. But yeah, of course, I've lost my thread now, and I don't know what I'm going to say now. But of course, yeah. Oh yes, that was what I was going to say. It just come back to me. How wonderful is my confidence here. But anyway, yeah, we were all tired, and we just wanted to relax for a bit. But yeah, you do that when we've travelled a long way. But of course, the weird thing about travelling, right, is that when you travel to a known location where we've known for quite some time anyway, we're quite used to it, and luckily we had our great transport. If we didn't have it and we didn't time everything, things would have gone really, really pear-shaped. But that's just one of those things that we could not debate but talk about all night, but we won't want to bore you on that note. But yeah, we got here eventually, and we wanted to relax for a bit. Yeah, it's extraordinary because when you travel to somewhere you know well, you don't sort of get that tired. You are tired, but of course, you need to relax before you come back to yourself again. If you understand what I'm trying to say, if you catch my drift here, you know, you have to sort of rest from different spots. We did a lot of that, and of course that doesn't make you as tired as what you might be if you was to go home the next day, for example, and that would be a hell of a journey, you know, and it could well be like that. Yes, we could be, Alex, there. We could be somewhere nearby. But yeah, our plans tomorrow, yeah, it's just a plan for the time being. We definitely will be in Norfolk, which is just outside of Great Yarmouth. So yeah, do look out for that. It's going to be amazing. And we're going to be checking out the spoons that we haven't done for a long time. I've been to the spoons here, but of course I don't think Giuliani has ever been, but he might have been past it. But that was quite a long while ago. But of course we only got about 15 minutes travel, hopefully by bus. And there's plenty of buses that return back to where we are. But yeah, like I say, it's definitely worth thinking about that. Of course, when you go on holiday, you might not feel as tired as you do when you return back to your destination. You feel a bit more exhausted, like travel lagged, whatever you like to call it. Of course, jet lagged, I don't know. But of course, travel lagged is the word to use when you're not using the airline or Ryanair, that kind of thing. Did anyone see, of course, that boss of Ryanair, by the way, that got a cake in their face? I wonder if that's going to be Jurgen Klopp one day. Or any other manager in the Premiership. But anyway, let's not talk too much about that. And Giuliani was smirking there at that point. But he's keeping very, very quiet tonight. But yeah, he's just chilling out. He's just got himself some food. Yeah, I'll talk to you in just a moment. But like I say, of course, one thing very definite to mention before I go, or we leave you racing through your mind, or leave something racing through your mind. I just want to say this now. This guy, I think it is Matt Routledge, that has bought a cup off touring with us a few days ago. His cup is sent to him, and it was sent on Monday, okay, through Royal Mail, and hopefully it will get to him from the Haverhill post office. And of course, yes, he needs to send me a message to let us know that he has received it in all good working order. The sort of skipping here that you can hear in the background is GB News trying to come back. That's the signal coming back, or trying to come back. Hopefully it'll get better as the evening goes on. But yeah, if you do purchase a cup, okay, make sure you do it pretty much when we come back, you know, because we're not at home, we're away at the moment. And if you do it, it will take up to about 5 to 10 working days due to postage, and we have to wait for our supplier, that kind of thing. And the list will actually go on like that. So his cup will be on its way to him very, very soon. Sorry, we are having well, I wouldn't say a major delay, but of course the cup was sent and it should be on its way to March, where of course the address was from. Yeah, March, not the actual month, but the place where we have done a video from before. We haven't been live there, but we've done a video from there. Well, I have anyway, but I don't think Giuliani's been there. But yeah, not actually as a place. Been through it on the train, but of course, yeah, that was heading towards Peterborough. But yeah, we leave that racing from your mind. Having yourself a lovely evening, and stay warm, by the way, because it's literally 28 degrees here in Norfolk. What is it wherever you are? Do let us know on the replay and put the comments down after this stream has gone up. We'll say good night to you all. I think Jacob Rees-Mogg is on and it's trying to come through. It will get to the picture in just a moment, but we'll leave that racing for your mind. Thank you very much. Hit that thumbs up as usual. And of course, comment your degrees where you are right now. Please do let us know. We've got to go now. Have yourself a lovely warm evening wherever you are. And have yourself a nice evening or time wherever you are, because you could be watching in the future. 2023 in September on, of course, Thursday the 7th of September 2023. Good night to you all. Bye. For now, stay safe. Peace out.